Hey guys, I'm Niraj from acronym Osteopathy, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about a fairly new acronym that is being used to help guide you in the management of soft tissue injuries, whether that be straining your hamstring or rolling your ankle. This acronym is Peace and Love. You may have heard of RICE before, which stands for Rest, Ice, Compression and Elevation, and this is okay, except it's only good for the first 1 to 3 days after injury. This new acronym will help guide you in those first 1 to 3 days and beyond. So what does the Peace and Love acronym stand for? Well, Peace is for the first 1 to 3 days after injury. The P, which stands for protects, means we want to avoid activities and movements that increase pain. We can do this by doing no harm, which is no heat, alcohol, re-injury and massage. E stands for elevate. We want to position the injured limb above the level of the heart as much as possible to help with fluid drainage. A, we want to avoid anti-inflammatories, which can have a negative effect on tissue healing. Avoid ice if you can, but use it for only 5 to 10 minutes every 2 to 3 hours if you really need it. C is for compress. We want to compress the area using an elastic bandage or taping to help reduce swelling. And the E is for educate. We want to be careful of Dr. Google, and we want to speak to your local osteopath or other health professional to help educate you on your condition. So after the first 1 to 3 days, we need to give our soft tissues love. The L in love is for load. We want to allow our body and pain levels to guide our loading. The O is for optimism. Studies have shown that people who are more optimistic about their condition actually have better outcomes. The V is for vascularization. We want to choose pain-free cardiovascular exercise to increase blood flow to help in repairing those damaged soft tissues. And the last E is for exercise. We want to restore mobility, strength, and proprioception to get you back doing what you love. Thanks for listening. I hope you've learned something. Feel free to book an appointment with me or one of the osteopaths here at acronym Osteopathy if you have an injury you want to have looked after.